This episode contains mature language and situations. Listener discretion is advised. You wake, standing on the doorstep of a beautiful mansion. The front door stands open. You can hear voices, music, so many people. You step towards the door. You have to know what's inside. You're lost. You have no memory of how you got here. It doesn't matter. Because now, you belong to the Grey Rooms. Welcome to Season 3, Episode 19, the penultimate episode before our season compilation and the finale. Enjoy.
The pain was what brought me back. I had been content to drift in darkness, but it was the pain that eventually pulled me back to the mortal form I had been wearing for the long years of Ash Manor.
Not done yet, Bob. Oh, no. Not even close.
I did not open my eyes. I didn't have to. My hands and arms were bound by manacles, glowing with crimson runes, the results of Alma's competent spellcraft. I had no wish to see what the Warden had done to me, what he would do to me next.
Time for another session with our little friend here. Tentacles, ooh, hooks, barbs, teeth. I'm pretty sure we got what we needed last time, but need to be sure.
He placed it on my cheek. This time, it pulled itself across my face with its pincers and positioned its tendrils on either side of my eye socket. I wouldn't give him the satisfaction of a full-throated scream, but I couldn't help the noise I made. The mind worm burrowed through my eye and into my skull, where...
Sorry, am I boring you?
What?
I know we were getting a little technical there. Was I boring you with all that locust talk? I don't understand half of it myself, but those arcanists the founder brought together seem very on the ball.
Oh, no. I suppose I'm still getting used to seeing you like this.
The skin suit? Yes, well, someday we will have to fit you for one as well, my friend. We have big plans, big ideas for where we can take the project. I thought it would be helpful to understand their limited mortal frames, to better understand how to construct the space.
A logical approach. And no, you are not boring me. It's an intriguing idea, and potentially lucrative, if I understand you correctly.
It might be slow going off the start, but if we stick with it, I know this is going to mean big things for all of us.
Where is this going to happen?
Well, he has the whole sixth circle to work with. But we thought it would be best to keep things out of sight as much as possible. We've got workers carving out several large chambers in the western wall of Dis. If we have to expand, we have plenty of room to move around.
I was under the impression this was intended to be a small operation, off the books.
Oh, it is. The workers will be disposed of afterwards. The spell work the Arcanists are doing will be sealed with their blood and bone. To start with, it will just be the founder, me, and you.
I understand the founder's role, and you are overseeing the project. What exactly would I be doing?
Keeping an eye on the subject. We're still narrowing down candidates. We need to be careful who we pull in. Don't want to take anyone too high profile, but once they're chosen, we'll get them in a holding chamber until the space is ready and all the loci are in place.
You expect me to deal with mortals?
Oh, don't worry, my friend. We're going to keep them in the chamber until the locusts are ready. Then you should just need to herd them towards the doorways. Like I was saying, their choice is what activates the soul trap. So unfortunately, we can't just have you picking them up and flinging them through the door frames. As entertaining as that would be to see.
Ensure a few meat sacks don't get out of line and be paid very well for the effort. You said the funding has already come through.
We wouldn't have been able to afford the worker tithes without it. These barons on the upper circles think hellfire comes out of their ass. It's not like the first few circles are hurting for souls either. Know what I mean?
I do.
Well then, what do you say?
I don't suppose I could have some time to think about it.
I tell you what, I'd like to. But if word of our little operation here gets out, well, I need you to say yes. And I need you to say it now.
It's heaven, all right. Let the record show that prisoner 929494 chose door 823. The Great War.
You've gotten soft.
I'm just doing what the founder suggested.
He's gotten soft too. Spent too much time with these fleshy sacks of shit.
I'd point out between the two of us, you are the one that continues to wear the suit.
I like the feeling when I squeeze their necks with these hands.
As I understand it, the more stable the subjects are, the more effective the project will be. That's what those arcane consultants seem to be saying anyway. So, I'm making an effort. A voice in the room.
There aren't even any razors in the floor this time.
And no chasing them down endless corridors. It's worth giving it a try.
Just don't call that thing in there a guest. I don't care what the advisors say. It's a subject, a prisoner, and I don't want to hear otherwise. Do you understand?
Do you understand, sir?
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Oh, bleeding Nora, you gotta help me. I think he's really gonna hurt me this time.
The Warden.
Yes, the Warden. She really did a number on you, didn't she? I swear up and down the street I didn't mean to help her. She just... I don't know. She put a whammy on me, Bob.
The whammy?
Yes, a spooky voice thing. Well, she told me to take her up to the club level and then...
Todd, you little worm.
Shit! The Warden said I could explain.
Feed you your tongue. Help that bag of skin escape. How dare you?
I swear she got into me head. I didn't mean to.
Warden, you know Todd did not do this with intent. And the elevator crashed because of you, not him.
You defend this?
He was doing his job, as was I. The fact that Miss Winters disrupted the flow of the project was not our fault. What were you doing, Warden? Were you doing your job?
Alturia, Aldras, Valakar!
What was that? What did you do?
I have temporarily discontinued management surveillance of this part of the manor. We do not have much time.
Why?
Because I do not wish to see you do something or say something that will require us to expel you from the project. I can assure you, you would not enjoy the experience.
Is that what happened to her? What happened to Samantha?
Enough. Listen or don't, but let me speak. You must understand. Creating the Grey Rooms was a delicate, time-consuming, expensive process. To accomplish this, management sought out a number of powerful investors.
I don't understand.
And I can't explain. This third door. The same day that the voice spoke to you, there was an incursion into the rooms from beyond Ash Manor. We believe this interloper was a representative from one of the original investors.
Why? To what end?
I don't know, but it cannot be a coincidence that the third door appeared to you at the same time as this incursion took place.
Me? They were here for me. Why are you telling me this?
I stopped, looking away from the Admiral's anguished face. Why was I doing this? I knew what I told myself, but there was more to it, wasn't there? It was best to stick with the safe response. I have my reasons. You must understand. Todd is fetching the Warden. He will bring him here, and the Warden will torture you horribly.
No, please.
Nothing can stop that from happening at this point, Admiral. Management cannot risk the possibility that you have been compromised. They must learn what you know, and they must learn it now.
So what? You expect me to let the Warden carve into me, ruin me, to just smile and take it?
No. I expect you to scream, Mr. Beckett, to make it convincing. You had no idea what was happening. You have no idea who the voice was. And when the pain peaks, you tell them about your wanderings.
My what?
I know, Admiral. You've been using our gift to explore the manor, to find a means of escape. Tell him. Do not hold back. It will give them something to think about, something to chew on. Critically, your pitiful searching has nothing to do with the incursion, and so you will seem all the more innocent. Simply another clueless mortal trapped by the project. As desperate to escape as a moth pinned to a board. And just as harmless.
You are one sick son of a bitch, Bob.
Yes, I am. But I'm also the only sick son of a bitch that cares what happens to you. Now, what are you going to do?
There it is. Don't worry. We can grow you a new eye, though I'm not sure you'll want to. You look so beautiful this way.
Are we done here?
Yes, we are. Which is good. Good timing. I'm to take you straight up the architect's office.
Oh, and why is that?
It's not her. The founder wants to see you, Bob. And he's not happy. Oh, no, he's not.
Memories of my past visited me before every mission. I could never shake the feeling that my time on the planet was about to run out. That day, for some reason, a summer afternoon in Elyas's apartment came to mind. My earliest training days brought up decidedly mixed emotions.
What's wrong, Giuseppe?
It was hard to meet my mentor's gaze. Elyas Oberhelm didn't tolerate failure at any level. I struggled to put together an excuse, so I chose the truth instead. I can't do this, Master. I'm not special. I'm not a seventh son of a seventh son.
Really? How do you know? There could be dozens of prophecy books with your name in them. You don't know much more than I do about your family history. I will not abide failure by excuses from an apprentice.
But I'm just an ordinary...
No, I do not train the ordinary. Do you think it was chance that you survived a demonic rampage when you were younger? Do you still carry the blame for your family's death? These things we hunt kill what you would consider nightmares for pleasure. They don't give a shit about your feelings. Do you think they will show you mercy? On your feet! Again! Ah! Ooh!
Three years later, when I was only 18, he disappeared on a mission. I took over his role and managed to make every mistake in the book on the way. I would have died 1,000 times over if it weren't for his lessons and discipline. My name is Giuseppe Caprio. I made a career as an entitatum agent, specializing in the identification and elimination of the supernatural. I've uncovered many truths in my 26 years of service to the agency. Gods and devils are real, and none of them like us very much. The one true God will never help us because he's dead, or she's in hiding, or they never existed. Take your pick. But there's not just one devil, Lucifer, Little Horn, Morning Star, but many. I received daily reminders that I was a frontline soldier fighting a war against the unknown. The world would have descended into chaos without Cadentibus Daret Demonium. Demon slayers. Like me. I don't know the exact number of times I saved the world from annihilation, but it was a lot. My goal, if I ever had one, was to make the world safe enough for people to live a normal life, to go to school, fall in love, grow old, and die. No one should fear what goes bump in the night. No one should have to. I shook my head, breaking from my reverie, brought myself back to the now. 22 hours ago, reports began to filter into the agency. They contained phrases such as strange pulse, lights in the sky, odd weather patterns, and citizens missing. The last census stated that the population was 2,000. Today, it appeared to be 0. The local government labeled it a biological disaster for the media and the rest of the world. Only the falling rain broke up the eerie quiet as I made my way past the roadblocks at the edge of town. I stood in the middle of the main thoroughfare. At my side was my colleague and dearest friend, Michael Holloway. There were no signs of life, no signs of death either. From where I was standing, I couldn't see a single body, not even a dead bird. My skin felt clammy, like a fever patient. I absently rubbed at the wards tattooed on my arms. Gut feelings have kept me alive more than once, and nervous habits are a great first defense against danger. The runes on the inside of my long brown coat stayed dark. Nothing was hunting us. Yet. What are you thinking, Mikey?
I don't know. This town's a fucking dead zone. Most of my gear is barely working.
You rely too much on technology.
You weren't saying that when my gadgets were keeping your ass warm in the Arctic.
It was convenience, not necessity.
Bullshit. You're not superhuman. You get cold like the rest of us.
I suppose it's worth noting that pushing Michael's buttons is one of my few joys in life. Want to make a bet? Michael looked up from his tablet scanner and stared at me for a moment before realizing I wasn't serious.
Whatever, man. Here, check this out.
What am I looking at?
A live feed of our current position.
I don't see anything but terrain.
Exactly. No buildings, no roadblock, no roads.
I looked up. Clouds tinged with a dark, smoky gray dominated the sky. Perhaps the clouds are obstructing your view.
Clouds wouldn't make the buildings disappear, Giz.
As I held it, the tablet flickered and the screen went black. Michael grabbed the screen from me and threw it into his pack. If you ever want to learn how to survive unplugged, let me know.
If I remember correctly, advanced technology plays some part in your arsenal.
Only what you force me to use. I'm happily tech-free, except for this stupid phone I'm forced to carry and the earpiece you shoved into my head earlier. Probably developing a brain tumor from this thing.
Quit messing with that!
Ow!
It's the only thing that will keep us connected, and you and I both know your phone has a dead battery 99% of the time anyway.
I fished into my pocket and pulled out my phone, glancing at its face before proudly holding it for him to see. Still got 4% left.
And only 37 missed calls and 115 unread messages.
I'm not worried about those.
Trust me. I know. Everyone knows.
I decided to end this downhill conversation and be helpful for once. After all, Michael was the closest thing I had to a friend. Looks like the village substation is at the end of that road over there. Go check it out and see if you can find out why there's no power. Radio me if you find anything.
Traditional horror rules state that you should never split the group. Bad juju.
I've destroyed warlocks, evil priests, and demonic hordes. I'm pretty sure I can handle juju, hoodoo, and voodoo.
When you need me to swoop in and save your ass again, call me.
I waited until he was safely more than a block away before I let out a sigh of relief. The hairs on the back of my neck were standing up. Something or someone dangerous was close. That instinct led me toward the center of town. I turned a corner and realized a small chapel lay at the heart of the community. I also found the people. The bodies lay in ones and twos. I realized as I moved forward that they formed a concentric spiral around the building. I looked skyward to see the clouds above rotating in a similar pattern. A quick examination of the bodies showed gray, ashy skin, charred eyes, and the inside of their mouths blackened. The entire populace lay in a spiraled silence. Michael, do you copy? Mikey, it's Gizmo. Hello? I pulled out the earpiece and checked the battery indicator. As if on cue, the battery died, and the summer shower around me gave way to heavy sheets of rain. I was alone, getting soaked, daylight fading fast. Every instinct screamed at me to erase this zip code with hellfire. Would Michael try searching for me if he couldn't contact me? I pushed the thought from my head. We gave each other shit, but he knew the protocols. Then again, neither of us was useful because we followed rules. The chapel was a modest, one-story wooden building with a high arching roof. A large mosaic stained glass window captured the morning sun. A large, leafless oak stood in the courtyard beyond. Gnarled branches stretched over the lower parts of the roof. From outside, nothing about the place gave the impression of imbalance or evil. But within, in my heart, I felt it. Like a wave of cold malice emanating from behind the simple walls. Hello? Anybody there? I cupped my hands to shout again when I noticed a soft glow beneath the door. The light seemed out of place, unnatural. It was stark against the growing darkness. I took a deep breath and made my way inside. I stood in the church's narthex, looking down the length of the building. A lone candle burned behind the altar. The light provided a soft halo for the young woman standing behind it. Off to the side, a large window view of the oak tree and the mountains beyond completed this surreal scene ripped from a Renaissance painting. In a quick flash of lightning between the clouds, I saw the tree sway in the rising wind. I crossed the length of the church, the whole while trying to calm my nerves. I found that if I kept my thoughts racing, the terror was easier to contain. Mistakes were made, mistakes were made, mistakes were made. I reached the far end and ascended the steps. I could only stare across the altar at her. The girl in front of me was clearly possessed, but not by anything known in the heavens or hells. I should never have locked my eyes with this thing, yet I stood my ground as it probed the depths of my mind.
Are you a god?
The stench of fetid breath and intense heat filled the room. I could feel sweat trickling down my body. The air thickened. No, I'm not. To whom am I speaking? In response, her face contorted and her jaw unhinged. I could hear her mandible bones snap and crack. Tears streamed down a soft face, followed by both eyes pushed from their sockets. The altar between us became slick with blood and fluids that poured from her body. Thick tentacles weaving complex patterns poured from the broken mouth. Her head elongated and ballooned in size. A feeling I once thought lost roared inside my chest. Terror.
I am ancient. I am eternal. Now, die.
The world around me faded to a deep black. It pressed down around me, suffocating. An assault. A vulgarity that threatened to dissolve into beauty as I felt something move behind my eyelids. Somehow, I managed to force my eyes open, only to find that I was screaming. That's when Plan B kicked in. To survive the horrors of the supernatural, my organization requires its members to take an unhealthy amount of a hallucinogenic substance we just call Third Eye. The drug keeps our minds open, yet chaotic. It takes years to master the difference between what's real and what's a side effect. A properly medicated, chaotic mind is immune to possession and many other abilities granted to unnatural things. I think I managed to surprise it.
Interesting.
Yeah. I'm full of surprises. Who are you? What do you want?
I am the one who has slain death. I shall reap all realms and realities. They shall be mine.
What did we do to deserve this?
You live.
I centered myself, brought my will to bear on the universe. Time to see what I was facing. I cast the most potent defense spell I could think of. Vishnani. Raku no me ai. Bulbous, black eyes stared back at me, laughter dancing in their depths. Nothing. Not even a flicker. And in response, rusty chains streamed forth from the creature's body and sank hooked ends deep into my body. This creature was about to rip my soul apart. The chains went taut as they pulled in opposite directions. Hooks deep in my left arm scraped against my ulna and radius. Exquisite pain coursed through me as my arm almost ripped in two. I heard a noise behind me, and I glanced back to see Michael enter at the far side of the room. He had a small silver ball in one hand and was wiping tears away from his eyes with the other. I grimaced as we made eye contact. He gave me a slight smile and briefly showed me the device. The ball was our ultimate failsafe. A mini black hole generator that would bend reality, space, and time into a singularity, only to explode it outward into nothingness. I swung my head back around to face the thing head-on. I'd need to keep it focused on me until he could get into position. If you're going to kill me, I want to know, who are you? Great. The original Great Old One somehow escaped from its prison and returned. Destructor of infinite realities and universes. Seconds felt stretched into an epoch as hopelessness and horror settled in my core. Of all the terrible things that could happen in the world, the return of an ancient being from the black ether heralded generations of suffering. Cthulhu. I couldn't think through all the pain. I heard another sound behind me and turned. Michael. His skin flushed gray and the life extinguished from his eyes, destroyed from within by a stray glance from this thing. My friend of the last 20 years, gone in an instant. The pitch on my tarnished soul ignited with rage. I called out to the forbidden parts of existence using the last light of my fractured soul. An incantation I'd sworn I'd never use, because the consequences would be so dire. Didn't seem important just now. Vach, Rocky, Nash, Mae no Kenu! Cthulhu's chains exploded, releasing me. Time seemed to slow to a crawl. Far away, I heard the rain continue to fall. I could smell the cleansing scent of the falling deluge, the rich wood of the chapel floor. I turned to run towards my fallen friend. Michael lay on the floor, his arm outstretched, his mouth open and frozen into a silent scream. His eyes were burned out like the others. Another needless death laid at my feet. I hadn't cried since my family died. I've spent a lifetime mastering my emotions, but as I ran to him, I felt tears streaming down my face. The failsafe lay on the ground just beyond his hand. It was the size of a softball and had a big red button on top. I reached him, scooping the weapon up into my arms. I could still hear his voice.
Damn it, Gizmo, listen. Just press this button and boom, whammo. No more problems, no more anything. Total annihilation.
I'm gonna miss you, Mikey. I raised my hand to slam it down on the button when Cthulhu struck. Memories poured like acid across my mindscape. The pain became unbearable and my arm froze in midair. She wouldn't let me do it. I felt it inside my head. Great claws tore at the walls of my psyche, trying to kill me from within.
I am the ancient. I am the eternal. I am your death.
I strained to push through it, to defend myself from her assault, but I could feel her peeling back every ward, every shield I'd put in place over the years.
I am the ancient. I am the eternal. I am your death.
I felt tendrils and rusty chains moving inside my body. They pulled at my tendons from within, drawing my hand away from the device. Lightning flashed across the sky, and in the light I see an image of the Ancient One towering over the distant mountaintops. In my mind's eye, it screamed in triumph, tentacles flailing into the night sky. I closed my eyes and gripped the ball. Tears flowed, because in the end, I was going to fail them.
I will not abide failure.
Elyas' voice, as if from a far distance.
When you need me to swoop in and save your ass again, call me.
Mikey, I'm not gonna let you down. I stared across the plains at the behemoth on the horizon. Hey. Death. It might have been my imagination, but I think I saw the great head come down to look at me. Fuck you! My muscles flayed open as I wrenched my arm down to slam on the button. Far off, I saw the thing open its maw to scream in fury, a sonic assault that struck me dumb and deaf as it echoed inside my head. My final moment of life was a flicker of emotion. A feeling of sadness that this would be the last time I could save the world. The end of an ordinary guy in an extraordinary circumstance. someone who believed that this was a world worth saving.
A World Worth Saving, written by Arthur Unk, with performances by Graham Rowat as Elyas, Jared Zirilli as Giuseppe and the narrator, Gabe Templin as Michael, and Lindsey Kelly as the Ancient. What About Bob, written by Michael Zenke, featuring performances by Graham Rowat as Bob, Alistair Mackey as Todd, and Jason Wilson as the Warden. Musical composition is by J.M. Scherf. Episode artwork, web development, and creative direction by Cassie Pertite. Social media and Patreon managements by Brooks Bigley. Videography is by Hale Scherf. Audio engineering and sound design is by me, Jason Wilson. Well, this is it, folks. The last episode before our compilation episode. And holy hell, what a ride it's been. This has been our longest season yet, and none of it would have been possible without each and every one of you. Our characters appreciate you being there to listen to their last words, and though things seem grim in their stories, you can all take solace in the fact that because of your patronage, none of them have to die alone. Speaking of our patrons, we would also like to take the time to thank our patrons once again, and to any of those who have taken time to leave us a 5-star rating and a review. Those reviews keep us at the top of the charts and makes it easier for more twisted souls to find the show. Patrons like Aaron Anthony, Amy Nikolai, Arthur Unk, Diver Ellie, Ellie Dowell, Ellen Houghton, Emily Cullen, Jackal Bot Snows, Ronan Komori, Jason Porras, Jeremiah Overstreet, Jessica Finch, Karina Sonina, Kay Davis, Kelly Bear, Kyle Wilcox, Laura Lupinetti, Lynn Browning, Lizzie B., Megan Pruitt, Michael Velez, Mike Devine, Mitch Gerrits, Mycophilic BG, Paige Pye, Patrick Stewart, Plin Plin Plon, All Night Long, Sean Geary, Sean McCorkordale, Shay Barbie, Sparky Anglin, Spirit Live, Stacy Thuas, Sybil McKinney, Talicia Gullman, The Original Nick Show, Mesa, Alex Vega, and Nick. The Grey Rooms is also streaming for free on Spotify. Just get the Spotify app or open the browser and search The Grey Rooms. And we here at The Grey Rooms love our fans, and we want to give back to you in the best way that we know how. We have a lot of fun things to show you, and we truly hope that you will like them all. You can find out more by joining us on social media. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, and YouTube. And we took your advice and extended an olive branch to all the tortured souls who have passed through the rooms. Our emotional support group is always looking to help you with all of your needs. And let's not forget about our merch store. It's full of epic designs and logos for you to sport, showing the world you are a survivor of these very rooms. All of this can be found in the show notes or on our website at thegrayrooms.com. And let's not forget about the craziness that happens in our Discord channel. Would you like to talk to Bob directly? Maybe the Warden? Maybe some of the authors and actors? Or would you just like to join a community of crazy people that have a great time together? Well, jump into our Discord today. Don't miss out. Don't wait any longer. Join us. And like I said, this was the last full episode, but we still have a compilation episode that is a 2-parter. What? That's right. It is so big, we broke it up into 2 spots for you. So we have to get to work on that and make sure that we keep y'all smiling. With that being said, we will see you next week.